I'm sure Joe Jonas didn't see this one coming. This blind item reads, the illiterate singer who was A-list in 2 different groups was a frequent invitee to freak-offs. Oh, no, not Diddy. It is where he met the woman who used to sell him drugs and also the woman who loved grooming young guys that he would hook up with from time to time. This blind item involves, allegedly, Joe Jonas, Diddy, and Stormy Bree. Now, I remember talking about Stormy Bree and Joe because they were in a relationship for a couple of months, but they announced in June 2024 that they had broken up. I forget that Joe Jonas was in another band besides the Jonas Brothers because he was a part of this group called Dance without the A. And we have photos of him with his group while arriving to Diddy's exclusive birthday celebration. This was happening, of course, in Beverly Hills. And we saw people like Kendall Jenner, Cara Delevingne, Keke Palmer, and Tyga all attend, which I think Tyga is such a creep, so I can totally see him at Diddy parties. Interestingly enough, there's an article from back then that actually wrote that Joe Jonas got a new job as an official music curator for a hospitality and design group in which Diddy was a part of. So kind of part of putting some of these parties together. And looking at some clips of him performing, he can get freaky, so I can imagine him at these freak-offs. I want to end this blind item with this comment. They write, this is obviously Joe Jonas and the woman who loves grooming young guys is Stormy Bree. We talked about Stormy Bree, I believe, dating other people. I can't remember her ex, but she had a kid with someone who was relatively young. Actually, Lucky Blue Smith. She has her daughter Gravity, which that name still, I cannot get over that name, Gravity. Please don't do that to your kid. Especially if they end up like, you know, I mean, I feel like obesity is kind of ending with Ozempic, but like, what if they're a big ums? You know, we love our big ums. Like whatever. But like Gravity, oh, I can't imagine. Poor girl. I feel like I'd always have to just stay light, you know, if my name was that. But yeah, they had a kid together, and she tends to go for younger men. This person continued, funny how Enti, and just to give you guys some context, Enti is actually a lawyer who reveals a lot of blind items, but they write, funny how Enti used to say that Stormy is a yachter that Priyanka recommended to Joe, and now apparently they met at the freak-offs? So which is which? I don't know how this is gonna unfold with the Jonas Brothers, but I'll be keeping my eye on it. Now, I didn't know if I wanted to cover this blind item because I just don't know what's going on in Chapel Roan. Like, seriously, like, what is going on? Like, I see what's going on, but I just don't know, like, what is happening? This blind item reads, the tiny church singer just wants to get away from everything, but her people keep talking her out of it. They see dollar signs, which is kind of scary to think about. I can't imagine being new to an industry, or at least new to this level of stardom, and having a lot of serpents trying to milk you and just make you a cash cow. This comment writes, I hope she doesn't get steamrolled by the entertainment industry, the nasty business behind it. Another person writes, how long has she been around? Sounds like it's time for a career change. Another person writes, dear Chappell, shut the F up and disappear for a few months. Maybe work on some new music and get a better management team. Another person writes, Chappell needs to leave. The outbursts are getting worse. She's a snowflake who can't handle anything. She wants the adoration without any interaction. Enough already. So a lot of opinions about Miss Chappell Roan. Recently, she has canceled a couple of shows, which has resulted in backlash. And I just want to say I do have respect for artists taking the time they need to take care of themselves, because we see too many Britney Spears situations. Do we really want to push someone to that point again? But I also acknowledge that there are people working hard to go and see this performance, taking flights, taking trains, driving, which I don't like driving. I feel like driving is as dangerous as anything else. Actually, maybe riding those scooters around are more dangerous. I don't think I could do it anymore. I'm like pretty much given up on those because LA is just too scary. The 26-year-old Midwest princess revealed, 26. I thought she was younger, but revealed she was pulling out of the All Things Go festival in New York and another show in DC, despite many of her diehards spending hundreds of dollars on tickets and transportation to the event. She revealed that everything has gotten just too overwhelming. I apologize to the people who have been wanting to see me in New York and DC this weekend at this festival, but I'm unable to perform. Things have gotten overwhelming the last few weeks, and I'm really feeling it. I feel pressured to prioritize a lot of things right now, and I need a few days to prioritize prioritize my health. I want to be present when I perform and give the best shows possible. Thank you for understanding. Be back soon. Now, this is a pretty cryptic notice from someone who we don't really know well yet because she's relatively new to the industry. This person commented, canceling with a 24-hour notice. Again, Chappell Roan is probably the most unprofessional artist of this new generation. I said what I said. Another person added, not Chappell Roan canceling on ATG when the festival is this weekend. Girl, I can't keep defending you. Another person added, no, now I am so pissed. I spent $150 on a train ticket to come to New York to see Chappell in this festival, and the day before she cancels her appearance. I'm so angry. I get prioritizing your mental health, but also when you commit to something, you follow through. And that's really interesting to me. I mean, take away the political rhetoric that has started from the post that she's made. It is interesting to where do we draw a line? I mean, again, we got to respect mental health and those things like that, but we also have to show up for a job that we were hired for. I think it's like this balance. It's like, can someone just, I don't know, but I also, you got to take care of their mental health. I think it's like there is really no great answer to it all. We all kind of just fall in the middle because it's case by case.
I feel everyone is a little bit gentle parenting her and being like, oh, she needs to put her mental health first. She needs to prioritize her. Like, if she's not ready for it, this is too much for her. Like, I don't want her to get up on that stage and be miserable, blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of like really sad to think of all the people that are affected by it when she makes this kind of decision, and like the privilege that comes with being like a pop star and being able to just cancel a show and like you get to still be rich and still be fine. It is a wildly selfish thing to do. Normal people have normal jobs. Like if you work like a minimum wage customer service job, you make like $8 an hour, you work 40 to 50 hours a week, and you can't call out because you have no choice. You cannot afford to live your life and feed yourself if you call out. And you probably work 5 days a week, whereas Chappell Roan has to perform on stage at this festival for like an hour or two. I get that there's like rehearsals and things and other components, obviously, but like it doesn't compare to like the many hours that go into a regular work week for like a regular human.
Now, there are some people who are defending Chappell Roan, saying to everyone being annoying about Chappell, count your motherfucking days because it's your fault for canceling her set. Do people not realize that Chappell Roan is like going through a mental health crisis? She did realize that she has actually been diagnosed with severe depression, going to a psychiatrist recently and getting this diagnosis, which I think is so sad. I mean, you work so hard for something you think you want, but then you have it and you're depressed. Have you guys ever had that in your life where you achieved something and you actually felt depressed over it? I mean, I think that those are kind of like changes that are more lifestyle things, you know? I mean, I think when you hit a milestone or you reach a goal, you feel great about it. But have you ever personally like reached a certain point and then you're like, wait, I'm here and now I'm miserable? I feel like maybe marriage could be one, like you think you want it and then you're in it. And again, that's probably most relatable, I could think, or maybe a certain job you get and you're like, holy crap, now I don't know what to do. I feel so privileged for the platform you guys have given me. I can't imagine taking it for granted in any kind of way. So I just shout out to you guys because I love you guys so much. Now, a lot of the crises surrounding Chappell comes from like her statements about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, which comment below which one you guys are voting for. Comment below. I feel like Wendy Williams saying like, clap if you're voting for Kamala Harris. Clap if you're voting for Donald Trump. I actually really praise people who keep up with the politics and everything. Like, of course I listen to my NPR every day, but like there's so much to it that like, that's why it is a career, right? Like politics, because like you have to study it. But either way, it is so scary to where she's positioned herself, where she's got stalkers coming after her. She's got fans who are really upset with her. And then she's got like political things flying around where people are now charged by what she's saying because she's not thinking before she speaks. And it's something we all, I guess, are at fault at sometimes. I mean, I think I try to think before I speak, but I think here she did not, and the consequences are blowing up.
I don't care that and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or a little famous, whatever. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity.
We've got so many more great blind items. I just went through a bunch of them and I'm excited, but I want to get this one over with because it gets really dark. Involving Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It reads, this A-list mostly movie actor is really throwing his ex under the bus by leaking stories accusing her of SL SA. This person commented, there was a story that dropped right after Angelina filed her complaint. So that's quite a coincidence. Maybe Brad is working with people to ruin Angelina. This person commented, they're both toxic. And another person added that he's such a piece of crap. So let's get into this article. Angelina Jolie harassed me. Keep in mind, there's certain things we can't say on this platform, but it's not good. Now, this guy named Corey, who is a reporter for casino.org, used to work for the New York Post, and when he was starting out in 1999, he had an awkward interaction with Angelina Jolie. Corey was sent to the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills to go and interview Angelina. At that time, he said that the reporters knew her from Gia and for being the crazy girl with Billy Bob and having that blood necklace around her neck. Let's put a picture of that up on the screen because that's a throwback. Corey shares that he walked into this suite and was greeted by the publicist, but then left alone with Angelina. He claims this was his second assignment for the Post, so he didn't want to mess up this job. It's a big deal. He said, I've got my 20 questions and I've got half an hour with her, whatever it was. He asked how much of you is in the character, and then he said he felt something on his leg and it was her foot. He thought maybe, oh, she uncrossed her legs and knocked him, but no, she was starting to try to play some footsies with him. She had taken her foot out of her high heel and it was no mistake. The foot started making like a cricket with my thighs. It was moving up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's moving up to the crotch area, and then I guess she's got her foot on his weenie. He said he was extremely uncomfortable, but he tried to ignore it and continue asking questions, but continued to stutter. He said that Angelina did read that he was not liking this, so she ended up stopping, but he almost questioned what was her intention. Like, was he like being probed to write about this so that she could go and sue him or something? Was he being set up? Maybe she wants to say I harassed her, or she wants the publicist to find us rolling around on the bed and say I forced myself on her. I don't know what she was thinking. Now, if this is true, this is rich coming from someone who's been outspoken about this kind of behavior. In an era where Ashton Kutcher is now best friends with a man who's trafficking people, yet the founder of an anti-trafficking organization, I do question where Angelina draws her boundaries.
Time and again, meeting young girls, boys, and women and men who talked about, publicly could talk about all of their pains, but privately would become very emotional and tell me about the rape and what had happened to them, or the child they couldn't, they couldn't tell that the child was a child of rape, or they just simply couldn't function anymore, and they carried this deep shame and this deep pain, and it was just too many. It was just one too many, where you looked around and think, how is it that I meet a girl that's been gang by 15 men with pipes and pieces of wood, and she's had fistula, and she's had to be sewn back together, and she's a child, and nobody's going to be held accountable. And it was just again and again and again meeting these people and these victims, and the more I would learn about what had been done on their behalf and who had been convicted, and it was just pitiful. It was nothing.
Ooh, we've got a blind item about Charlie XCX. It reads, the foreign-born initialed singer is going to be dead by the end of her tour. No one can do this much Coca-Cola. Wow. Well, that's a heavy blind item. Now, I have seen clips of Charlie where it appears that she's doing something. I must admit, I'm not my cup of tea. I'm not into that. It scares me. I'm already too hyper as it is. Can you imagine if I was? I'd be like, look, you guys would know. You guys would know, and I look so healthy and glowing. I feel like Coca-Cola does that to you. Let's just say I'm more of a Pepsi type of boy. But Charlie is feeling the heat right now because she's got some terrible merchandise that she's selling, which, I mean, when's the last time anyone's put out good merchandise? Fans are upset seeing this quality merch, seeing that they're disappointed. There's a lack of quality and really no creativity. Granted, right now her entire brand is like bright green and just with text on it, Brad. So I don't know what people were anticipating. Actually, I'm going to be at the LA show. If you guys are going to be there, I will be there too. So if you guys want to say hi, but I'll be there on, I can't remember which day it was. It's the first one. I think it's a Tuesday. So I'm excited. Hopefully people will be there. I don't know. I want to see the Addison Rae or Lord come on to stage.
Charlie just released official Brat merchandise, and I guarantee you that this shirt is going to be the most popular one. Or in black, because who doesn't love a tight little tiny baby tee? There's also this one, which I think is pretty sick. I want to dance to me, I want to dance to AG. And this one's fine. I would cut it if it were me, but also this keychain, I can't tell if it's going to be like a collector's item or if it's going to be something that people find at a Goodwill in 50 years and they're like, oh, whoa, this woman's on her hands and knees. Why?
Now, one place you won't see me is waiting for merchandise. Shoppers have slammed Charlie for selling items not as advertised, while one person said that her brat towel was nothing more than a glorified blanket. Like, I guess there was this $50 towel she was selling, but the towel wasn't even a towel. I think we all know what towel quality feels like. It was more of just a blanket, which I am not gonna dry myself off of that or take it to the beach. More on this towel, another person accused Charlie of misrepresenting her products after noticing the same towel felt cheap and that it didn't dry anything, and they demanded a refund. I feel like at this point, why even sell this crap if it's gonna be so bad? Just keep charging so much for your tickets. I mean, those tickets were so expensive. I'm still hurting over them. I mean, Charlie, really? I mean, is this it? Does it just say towel like that on it? I was expecting at least some kind of terry cloth, so you could use it at a pool or dry something off, but no. It's 100% polyester and fuzzy. It looks gross, actually. It looks really gross. Like, I feel like that looks like a pee pad, right? It's giving dog pee pad. Truly.
Guys, my $40 brat bag that I got at the sweat tour ripped after second use. I was fucking robbed. Charlie XCX, I demand a response and a refund.
It is ridiculous. Actually, this might be like next level, because how is Charlie selling a key, like a house key on a necklace? Like, it looks like the cheapest things you could truly find, put them together and sell it. And also, is that like key supposed to be for drugs? It's like, what happened to like people getting mad? I guess they don't get mad. I feel like we used to get mad at like brands for promoting like drug use, but like it's normalized here, and I don't really like that. I mean, I've had friends who have gotten in really bad situations because they've used it for, obviously not with me, but like, and like, you know, comas and stuff. Like, what? Why would you even risk that? And the fact that she's selling this cheap key, trying to kind of like encourage it, makes me sad. Now, this is interesting. We've never spoken about Tyla. If you don't know who Tyla is, she has that song, Make Me Water, Make Me Wet Something, Make Me Water. My voice is a little shot today because I was at the Barely Human concert last night. I love Barely Human. If you don't know who they are, definitely go and check them out. Apparently, the one named foreign-born industry plant singer canceled a recent gig because she was paid 3 times as much to yacht for a few hours. Now, yachting is a term to describe a practice in which celebrities, models will go and essentially sell themselves to these expensive billionaires and go and hang out on their yachts, but also do other things. It's not like exclusive to yachts. You don't just go to the yacht, but you do hang out on them, and they typically own them because they're very expensive men who will pay a lot of money to go and hang out with Tyla. It's like, oh yeah, this show's gonna pay you $50,000 to perform. I'll wire you $300,000 to come and hang out with me. It's like, shoot, how do you say no? Granted, I could never imagine myself doing that. I mean, that's a skill people have, because and that's why like SCX work is like a job, because I can't do that, because it's like, I just don't have that skill set. I guess. I don't know how to say it, but maybe I'm a prude. Am I a prude? Not really, but Tyla provides an update after a back injury. So it looks like she's canceled her world tour, and it's due to an injury. Now, I don't know if this is a legitimate injury. Let's look into the reports. I mean, I can't imagine. Why would you lie about a back injury? That sounds really terrible. Tyla is providing an update about her health. The 22-year-old superstar spoke to People about healing after her back injury and canceling her tour. During the conversation, she spoke about hitting the stage once again in a series of TV and festival performances, saying it felt so good. It's been hard not to be able to do all of that. The little that I'm able to do now, I'm just doing wholeheartedly until I get 100% better. Now, I know Tyla has a pretty big presence, though I do feel like when you are at the top of your game, kind of like Chappell Roan, you go and you tour and you make those impressions, so you stay on the people's mind. So I do think canceling a tour is, you know, detrimental to some artists.
What was the injury? They said you hurt yourself.
Yeah, I hurt myself.
What happened?
Hey, why you want to know what happened?
I don't know, I just...
No, it was just...
Why you want to know what happened?
Yeah.
Why you on business? All the South African came out just now. Why you want to know?
Yeah, like how... yeah, it was just an injury, but I'm better, so that's good.
So you are better, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So you rescheduling the tour?
Yes.
Okay, good, because we need to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camila Cabello. I feel like she's kind of hit a plateau. The former 1/5 was just painful to watch at a recent performance. Nerves or stage fright or whatever it is, but she needs to stick with acting. I have to admit, I did not like Camila Cabello's VMAs performance. It was probably my least favorite of the night, but one of my favorites was Sabrina Carpenter's, and it seems like Camila seemingly shaded Sabrina during a recent performance. Camila performed a song that she and Shawn Mendes had together. It's called Senorita. We all know that one. I love it when you call me Senorita. But she left a word out, a certain word within the lyrics, and it was the word taste. Keep in mind that Shawn Mendes and Sabrina Carpenter were linked together as well, so there's a little bit of a love triangle here. One of Sabrina Carpenter's #1 hits right now is Taste, so put it together, it's kind of interesting to leave that one word out. That's friends. And I'm not a singer. I can't sing, y'all, but I just have to pause too because we don't want to get copyrighted. I'm sorry. I'll admit that I'm on the haterade right now. I hate this. It's giving desperate. Please leave this girl alone. Sabrina Carpenter's doing so well for herself. It seems like Camila is just like bitter. One person wrote, "Is it bad that I love both Sabrina and Camila? They're messy and I love it." Another person added, "To skip the word taste in the song, Camila, this is kind of iconic." I'm glad at least some people can see the humor in it all. I mean, it is all just fun at the end of the day. They're fighting over Shawn Mendes, and I have a feeling that he would not fight for either of them. Even with Tyra Banks being terrible on America's Next Top Model, I'm almost Team Tyra. This reads, "Finally, someone did something to stop the foreign-born permanent A-list model and her charity. It was just a convenient place people could deposit yacht fees and make it look like a donation." So yachting has been a theme throughout this blind item episode. The related headline reads, "Naomi Campbell banned from charity trustee." I actually personally researched this and I looked through some of the statistics, and like, for instance, they had a donation of like $1.5 million or so, and they used just a couple $1,000s of that for charity. And in fact, this charity has been bringing in so much money and spending nothing on any relief for what they're saying they're going to. So it makes me question, where's the money actually going? You're bringing in millions and millions of dollars. What are they paying for? Your cigarettes?
Over the years, the CFDA Foundation has helped victims of Hurricane Katrina in Nepal, women in Nepal, and laying down foundations for better lives. Whilst my own charity, Fashion for Relief, which is now in its 13th year, which I can't believe, has grown. We've helped Ebola crisis, we've helped sufferers in Africa, recently refugees from Syria, and in our last one a month ago, education, health and culture.
As beautiful as she is, I would not want to get a whiff of that lying breath. I could just smell the stinky ass lies coming out of her mouth. I'm sorry guys, we're getting towards the end of the episode and I have such a disdain for people who are Harvey Weinstein apologists or Epstein apologists. Like, no, I feel like she's just as bad as them. She's just like a beautiful model, and you know, she worked very hard for where she got, but nonetheless she's sold out with less than 10% of the money being brought in to actually go to charity. It's rich to see how confident Naomi feels going and defending herself, saying that she's done nothing wrong when they actually have reports that show what she's been spending on. So really, why did Fashion for Relief, your charity, fund your stay at the Four Seasons, or fund, again, those cigarettes, those stinky cigarettes that she won't put down?
I just found out today about the findings, and I'm extremely concerned, and we are investigating on our side. As I was not in control of my charity, I put the control in the hands of a legal lawyer, and so we are investigating to find out what and how. As everything I do and every penny I ever raise goes towards charities.
I mean, again, at this point, I'm almost Team Tyra Banks. She's over here silently raising her kid. I actually Googled her to see what she's been up to, and she's been promoting her Smice cream. her ice cream in Santa Monica, which is not too far. I'm actually considering going there. So if you guys want me to include a little segment where I show you guys what it looks like there and try it for you guys, I'll put it in the Sloan Show, which you guys know the Sloan Show is another series on this channel. And you guys definitely need to check it out if you haven't. I feel like I've been with you. I've been recording for a bit now, and I feel like I've been with you guys for a minute. Now I just want to stay. I don't want to go anywhere, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please check out my TikTok. I've been working so hard on TikTok, trying to TikTok out there, and I'm not doing like renegade. I'm doing like little stories like this, and it's high quality. Chef's kiss. My mouth is watering because I am hungry, and I'm going to go get a suit right now for my sister's wedding, which I'll be officiating, which I also want to put that in the Sloan Show too. Like the Sloan Show has hot topics, and then it's like little segments of my life at the end. Again, so I think that'd be cute. You guys can see me marrying my sister. So I'm gonna get a suit today, and I was trying to hold out to go and eat once I get to the Century City Mall. So I'm having a little kombucha right now because my stomach feels weird. Everything feels weird. Everything's off. But I hope you guys feel good. Comment below. How are you feeling? Especially if you waited all the way to this point, you are a real one. And I love you guys. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.